this, the police will be called! Cause I got proof, mother.
I'm stupid. I don't understand that when you
send me back home.
My life can't get any worse. But my body and my health are getting worse by the day.
Ever wondered what it would be like to depend on someone for every single task? Let's dive into Jean's life, a 39-year-old who appeared on the show. This woman was so reliant on her parents for the simplest things that her house felt like a cloud of sadness. Jean wasn't just struggling with her weight, she was grappling with immobility and a slew of health issues exacerbated by poor hygiene. Imagine every movement, every breath. A struggle. But let's peel back the layers. How did Jean end up in this dire situation? Hello, everyone. Before we dive into the disturbing, jaw-dropping moments that broke the internet on My 600-Pound Life, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you're about to witness stories filled with raw emotions and a whole lot of drama. So let's get started.
And a washcloth. Because it's very important. I try to stay as clean as I can. Since there's a lot of areas of my body that rub and chafe and cause these sores to form and open up on me. And I can't let them get infected.
Jean's childhood was a nightmare. Raised by a grandmother who seemed to have missed the memo on nurturing, Jean's early years were marred by physical abuse that's hard to stomach. And as if that wasn't enough to scar someone for life, she also endured sexual abuse at the hands of her mom's boyfriend. So where did she turn for solace? Food. Yep, food became her best friend in a world where genuine friends were non-existent. It's tragic how some battles are fought in silence, right?
It was only a one-time thing, but the one time did damage. I remember sitting on the floor watching TV, and he came and he sat right down beside me. And he said, "This will be our little secret." And he said, "Don't ever tell your mom because she won't believe you." So I just, with everything else, I just pushed that down and, just dealt with it as best as I could.
Then came the critical turning point. Jean was hospitalized due to a life-threatening infection, and she managed to shed 53 pounds. But the real challenge began once she was out of the hospital, tasked with losing another 100 pounds on her own. Well, life had other plans, and she ended up gaining 29 pounds instead. Talk about a cruel joke. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How you all doing?
Doing okay.
All right, Jean. We got you in the hospital and you lost 53 pounds, halfway to your goal. So all you needed to do was lose the remaining 50 pounds in 6 weeks on your own to get down to your overall goal I gave you. But instead, you gained back 29 pounds.
Yes.
Dr. Now, ever the optimist, gave Jean a second chance. She was brimming with confidence, boldly claiming she'd flaunt her progress at her next checkup. But reality? She lost a measly 8 pounds in 2 months. Was she even trying, or just using the diet plan as a coaster for her soda?
I just want to get this appointment over with so we can go home. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How you all doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. So you were given the same goal as the first time to lose 100 pounds in 2 months.
Yes, sir.
Instead, you lost 8 pounds. The only positive with that is that at least you didn't gain.
Just when you think Jean's life couldn't get any more challenging, tragedy strikes again. Her father passed away, and she was swallowed by an ocean of grief. This sorrow led her to abandon her diet, diving back into the comforting arms of food. It's heart-wrenching to see someone lose their way, but will Jean muster the strength to shed those pounds and embrace a healthy lifestyle?
Can you just, I don't know, have somebody come and get him, I guess? Get him from where? get your dad. No, I'm not talking about that. Come and get my dad. Okay.
And if you thought we were done, hold on. Jean's mother fell ill, leaving her to face gastric surgery alone. That's a solo journey no one should have to endure. As if her life wasn't already enough of a soap opera, Jean sued the production company of My 600-Pound Life, claiming they broke promises of covering her mother's medical expenses. Sounds like a plot straight out of a legal drama, doesn't it?
Fortunately, he still doesn't have a lot of time to waste.
My mom and I are going home.
So, what's next for Jean? Will she find her path to recovery and happiness? Will she rise above her sorrows and reclaim her life? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, Jean's story is a stark reminder of the dark corners some people navigate, hidden behind closed doors and silent struggles.
During the grief process. But what's important is that you allow yourself to have your feelings. After that happens, you'll be able to focus on your life and what you need to do to feel whole again.
Right.
When something like death happens, it can make you want to retreat from life and just stop everything. And I want you to know that you and your mom both.
Imagine trying to keep up with a daily regimen of 13 to 14 medications while battling congestive heart failure and diabetes. That was Entre's reality. Imagine needing to remember a small pharmacy's worth of pills every single day. But how did he end up here?
Lucky to even see 40. The worst is already beginning to happen.
It's definitely no way to live. I take about 13 to 14 different medications to make sure my heart does not fail. And that's the only thing that keeps me out of the hospital.
Entre's love affair with food didn't happen overnight. Picture a young Entre hanging out with his grandmother, munching on snacks while playing games. By the time he was 18, he weighed 450 pounds. You have to ask, was Grandma unknowingly setting the stage for his future troubles?
And so I spent a lot of times there with her. And what do? We eat. We play games, but we eat. We do this, but we eat. And so food and good food was always present.
How many calories is that?
What you're supposed to eat.
You gonna put some honey on it?
Oh. 3 more.
We was a church-going family. My grandparents and my mother definitely kept me in church a lot.
Life wasn't exactly kind to Entre. Growing up in a single-parent home, losing family members to heart issues, then losing his job, and finally getting diagnosed with heart failure. Food became his comfort. But with his health on the line, how could he pivot towards a healthier lifestyle? Spoiler alert, it wasn't going to be easy.
I ended up dropping out of college after 1 semester. I got a job working in security at a retail store. The job paid well for 7 years, working 10 to 14-hour days. At first, my size worked in my favor. Being big helped intimidate customers who came to steal things. And that's when I started to have health issues of my own. And I got diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And then the cardiologist cut me off as their patient.
Entre's situation got worse when he lost his job as a security guard due to his heart condition. His wife, Musa, stood by him, dreaming of starting a family, but also terrified for his health. She urged him to lose weight first. The pressure was on, but was Entre really up for the challenge?
I saw that he was willing to change, and so I gave him a chance. But now he wants a family. I cannot give it to him unless he loses that weight so that we help each other. You done?
Thank you very much.
Oh.
It was really actually good. Compliments to the show.
Determined to make a change, Entre sought help from Dr. Now, weighing in at a staggering 702 pounds. Dr. Now laid out the game plan: a strict 1,200 calorie diet and regular exercise, aiming for an 80-pound drop in 2 months. Easy, right? Not quite.
I agree with all that. But the first step is you showing that you are willing to do what you say. Because it sounds like you said all this before. And so far, it seems like you go in the other direction. Okay? So to get you started, I'm going to give you a 1,200 calorie diet that is high protein, low carb. I'm going to walk you through it. And I want you to start that immediately.
Yes, sir.
3 months later, Entre had only lost 19 pounds, having indulged in extra protein shakes and peanut butter. When confronted by Dr. Now, Entre's response was a mix of nonchalance and chuckles. Seriously, why wasn't he sticking to the diet? His excuses were almost laughable.
He was eating peanut butter. He said it's there in the book that he must eat peanut butter. I said, I read it. It doesn't say that. And then we started arguing about that. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it until we go back to the doctor so that he can explain to you, because it's not there. Like, it feels like maybe the food is the same. I told him, if you go through the book and look at the food, it's not the same, it's different kinds.
Despite Dr. Now's stern warnings and setting another 80-pound weight loss challenge, Entre's journey took a disappointing turn. At his next weigh-in, he had actually gained 6 pounds, still joking and shrugging it off. Could he really bounce back from this?
Good. So is the young lady with you?
This is my aunt. It's actually my mom's friend, but I call her Aunt Pat.
Okay. So what happened to your wife? She gave up on you?
No, she didn't give up on me. She had a couple of appointments and stuff, and so they're trying to still work on her green card and stuff. So.
All right. Well, it is a good thing she's not here to see your result, because instead of losing 80 pounds in 2 months.
Dr. Now, seeing Entre's lack of seriousness, suggested he see a psychotherapist. The therapist advised him to treat listing grievances like writing a sermon. And Entre, he showed up with coffee and a cinnamon roll in hand, ready to tackle that sermon. The irony was almost too much.
And do you write sermons? Did you write sermons as part of your training?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So I want you to write a sermon about this.
Okay.
You know, I feel like you have 2 kinds of weight to lose.
Yeah.
And the physical weight is almost less important than the emotional weight. You're carrying around 700 pounds of emotional weight too.
But it seems like the emotional weight is heavier than the physical.
Yeah.
You know.
So, Entre, I'm going to bring your wife in. Is that okay?
Yes.
We'll talk about the homework, okay?
Okay.
Great.
In a shocking twist, Entre's weight escalated to 704 pounds, marking a gain of 15 pounds when he was supposed to be losing them. It was a gut punch, not just to the viewers, but surely to Entre himself. His story stands out as one of the most unbelievably challenging journeys on the show, showcasing a contestant who seemed to make every wrong turn possible.
It feels like no matter what I do, it's not going to be good enough. I can't help but feel that I messed up my chances, because I know that Dr. Now would not be happy. And if he gives up on me, then I know that I will have let Musa down.
If you're as hooked on these jaw-dropping stories as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, buckle up, because Stephen Assante's journey is one roller coaster ride of drama, tears, and some seriously questionable choices. Just at the start of his episode, Stephen, tipping the scales at a whopping 730 pounds, gets booted from Rhode Island Hospital. Why, you ask? Well, our boy Stephen thought it would be a great idea to order pizza while trying to qualify for weight loss surgery. Yes, you heard that right. His desperate father, fearing this might be Stephen's end, decides against taking him home. Instead, they hit the road, hoping for a miracle.
An 800-pound man from Cranston desperate for help after he says Rhode Island Hospital told him to leave.
For the past 80 days, Stephen was getting the help he needed at Rhode Island Hospital. But after Stephen violated his care plan by ordering pizza, Stephen said the hospital told him he can no longer stay. Stephen's father says taking his son home will be a death sentence, so the two men say they'll continue to drive until they find a place that can help.
I just don't know where to turn to. I called everybody you could think of in the state of Rhode Island, and nobody can help me.
It seemed like Stephen had burned all his bridges. Enter Dr. Now, the kindest and most helpful doctor you could imagine, who decided to give Stephen a shot and called them to Houston. But even Dr. Now knew he was in for a ride with Stephen, labeling him one of the toughest cases ever. The big question was, would Stephen be committed enough to follow the rules?
Transported to my care in Houston right now, and I'm not sure what to expect. From what I understand, he suffers from severe psychological issues that make it problematic to treat him. So he's going to be a unique case.
This looks really yummy.
You might be wondering how Stephen managed to gain all that weight. Well, his sneakiness knew no bounds. Stephen didn't just eat, he devoured. His daily intake could rival a small army's rations. Pizza, fried chicken, gallons of soda. You name it, he consumed it. It's like he was on a mission to set a world record for the most calories ingested in one sitting.
He's right off. And then when he used the bathroom, he leaned up against this, and somehow, some way, this cracked. So I'm surprised he didn't break this. He broke this pot. Here, I'll show you the bedroom that he spent 24/7 in. This is basically all his stuffed animals and his TV, his videos.
He'd secretly gorge on pizzas and fast food, thinking he had everyone fooled. His dad once found not one, but 10 empty pizza boxes hidden in his room. And get this, Stephen even called the cops on his dad over food. The charges dropped in exchange for, you guessed it, a large pizza. Like, who does that, man?
And he was sneaking pizza all the time and hiding the evidence. One day I happened to open up that closet and I see 10 piles of empty pizza boxes in here where he tried to hide them from me. I said, let me tell you something, it's gonna stop because I don't wanna see that ever again. And then he says to me like, oh, all right, well, what are you gonna get me to eat now? I said, you serious, dude? I said, how do I know you just didn't have a pizza today? And you want something to eat again? But he wanted his way.
But all this sneakiness had to be stopped. After reaching Houston, Stephen weighed in at a staggering 730 pounds. Dr. Now, hoping to see some progress, put him on a strict 1,000-calorie diet. Fast forward 3 months, and Stephen's true colors began to shine. He disrespected staff and started manipulating them for food and pain meds. Dr. Now had enough, declaring it was game over at the hospital. The story takes an even more dramatic turn next.
Mean nothing. You come here for help, and at this point, there's nothing I can do to help you. So you're done here.
I've been doing good and everything, please.
And unless you have an emergency, you will not be admitted back.
I've been good. I swear I apologize to everybody.
If you want to stay in the program, you need to find a place to stay because you're not staying here anymore.
Despite the doctor's best efforts, Stephen didn't change his tune. He missed appointments, ghosted Dr. Now's calls, and yes, ordered a large pizza and Coke the moment he got his new freedom. But when he overdosed on painkillers to get more meds from another hospital, Dr. Now confronted him. Stephen's response? Non-seriousness and laughs. Oh boy, he definitely wasn't ready to change his life.
As an expression, but you actually do it. You missed your appointment with me last week. Do you think you lost any weight?
Well, I mean, you know.
I see pizza in here. How many times you order pizza since you've been here?
Probably like two.
Two times that she knows how many times that she didn't know that you ordered pizza. Don't look at her.
Stephen's journey wasn't just about the weight. It was a constant battle of manipulation and excuses. After all the non-seriousness and ignorance, Dr. Now finally lost his patience. He laid down the law, telling Stephen his painkiller and manipulation days were done. "Get it through your head," he said, "or you're looking at death or jail." Stephen Assante was truly the craziest patient to ever appear on the show.
You know, you're at that point that you have been before and you lied about it, and right now, at least you got to the point that you're honest about it. But here's the situation. This is the end of your road for now.
Okay.
You're done manipulating system with me involved. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm suspending you from the weight loss program, and you're going from here to a drug addiction program.
Shenee Murray's life is a masterclass in saying no to help, even when Dr. Now is bending over backwards to get her on the right track. Shenee grew up as the only child in the house. Sounds like the dream, right? Being the center of attention, showered with love? Not quite. Her story took a dark turn at just 5 years old when her cousin raped her. Yes, raped. Can you imagine?
There was one time where we was at my uncle's house and I was molested by my cousin. I didn't know as a child what was going on. Shenee had came from the basement and she started kind of whining, and she was touching her front area. She was hurting. All I remember is my mom had took me to the doctor because I couldn't use the bathroom. It was hurting really bad.
Picture this, little Shenee running out of the basement in tears, her mom immediately sensing something was wrong and rushing her to the doctor. That's when the heartbreaking truth came out. From that point on, food became Shenee's escape hatch, her safe space. But as we all know, too much of a good thing can be bad, and for Shenee, her comfort zone morphed into a gilded cage.
I hid all my feelings in. I started sneaking food right after that incident. Food made me feel better. It made me feel happy. So then I started putting on weight, and when I was 7, I was about 130 pounds. When I was in elementary, my teacher did throw away my lunch because I was too fat.
Fast forward to her appearance on the show, and you could tell from the jump that Shenee wasn't exactly eager to embrace Dr. Now's recovery plan. Despite the neon signs flashing health hazard all around her, and Dr. Now's detailed roadmap to a healthier life, Shenee's commitment was flimsy at best. Old habits really do die hard, huh?
Fluid is not adding to your weight gain. So the reality is, to gain like you did, you still have to be eating over 10,000 calories a day. You're not realizing that?
I did not realize that.
You're still eating whatever you want, whenever you want.
Not necessarily all the time.
All right, I don't think you're grasping how dangerous your situation is, Shenee. With all the health issues you've got.
And then it gets even more ridiculous. Shenee's diet cheats were the stuff of legend. Even in a hospital with all the tools to succeed, Shenee's husband was her partner in crime, sneaking in pizzas and burgers. They were caught, of course, sparking an epic meltdown from Dr. Now. Can you imagine the awkwardness?
Hey, Shenee, see what I found.
Freddie.
What about Freddie?
That belongs to Freddie.
Shenee, the lying need to stop now. Okay, Shenee? Here's the situation.
Okay.
For 4 months, I have seen you from day one. You haven't lost any weight. Plus, the hospital staff not only seen you eating pizza, but burgers. And then you're smart enough not to throw it to your own trash, throw it to somebody else's trash.
It gets better. 6 months later, Shenee was dodging appointments and giving the cold shoulder to psychologists. When Dr. Now tried to check in, she threw a curveball, questioning his beliefs in God, then declaring she didn't need his help because the world was full of doctors. And then she hung up on him. Who does that to someone trying to save your life?
And I understand that, but do you believe in God?
This is medicine.
Well, I believe in God. That God is gonna take me as far as He want me to. He put me on this earth. If He wants me to have this surgery, He will. He doesn't, I won't. It's in His timing when this is gonna happen.
But wait, there's more. Shenee took her defiance to YouTube, becoming a vlogger to tell her side of the story, claiming she was losing weight on her own terms. Fact or fiction? That's anyone's guess. But one thing's clear. Shenee was one of the most stubborn and defiant characters ever to grace the show. Thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories. Share your thoughts in the comments. What moment shocked you the most? And don't forget to hit the notification bell. Stay tuned because you won't believe what we have coming up next.